London and 2 speeches at Oxford, but it turns out I'm not because the person at the United counter said you have been banned from the United Kingdom. It says here the government has rejected you. So I already had a visa. It was a 2-year visa. I was in the middle of it. So they went in and pulled the visa, apparently. I had no idea why. And I have to say that it was a bit of a gut punch. It's a little bit hard.
Really, Cenk, you had absolutely no idea why. You as a person that's been following the news and is following the culture for more than 10 years, and you just didn't see this coming. It took you completely by surprise. Why is Qatar paying you the big bucks then, huh? If you cannot figure it out. Apparently it also happened to Hassan, and he's another person, just like taken by surprise, like none of these people expected it. It came out of nowhere. And so, allow me to explain it to you, right? Because you individuals, like you have millions of dollars, you have an entire team of people, of analysts, of researchers, and none of you can figure it out, right? So maybe by showing you how useful I can be, you can hire me at the organization, huh? Alright, so the United Kingdom is a hyper-feminine government. Its main purpose, its main ideology is risk aversion. And so once the United Kingdom decided to implement tens of millions from people that came from the Middle East, they have also brought Middle Eastern problems. And so the government is like a battered wife. It has a very angry husband, and it doesn't want the husband to chimp out. And so it doesn't really matter if it's fair, if it's not fair. It doesn't think in those logical, moral pretenses. It basically thinks like, how do we get the angry husband not to raise its hand? And once you understand this, like, you automatically figure out everything that the UK is doing makes absolutely coherent sense. It's not a moral thing, but it is coherent. So when people like Tommy Robinson want to go and they want to talk about, the grooming gangs, the abuses, the rapes, the UK government immediately cracks down on that. Because again, like, they do not want the husband to get angry. It doesn't matter if what is being said is truthful or not. The husband gets angry at an emotional level, right? So, like, they need to shut that down. They need to shut down Tommy Robinson from talking about the grooming gangs. Alternatively, they need to shut down leftist speakers that talk about Israeli atrocities. Doesn't matter if they're true or not. Like, the very fact that the conversation can happen can upset the husband, and so the British government has to immediately make sure that people are silent. That's it, right? Like, it's that simple. Now, on top of that, you have to look at how the instrument of shutting people down happened, right? Because it didn't happen overnight. When I was born, Britain wasn't this authoritarian hellscape. Like, you could actually go there and you can talk about a plethora of things as long as you did it civilized and with decorum. Now, you're simply not allowed to talk about certain issues at all. And so, like, how did we get to that? Well, we get to that with the ideology that the Young Turks have spearheaded, right? Third wave feminism, reclaim our internet. All of this happened with an ideological movement that basically said no platform for bigots, no platform for fascists. Which, again, sounds common sense. I mean, you don't want fascists to have a platform, right? But the problem is, like, who gets to define what fascists are? And if you basically say that fascists making jokes normalizes fascism, censorship being implemented normalizes censorship, right? And so now you created a system where basically the government can say, well, no platform for these people. Doesn't have to be fascists. Like, if we can choose not to platform fascists, why would we platform individuals that agitate our society? So you have moved away from a free speech world where, ideas get to be shared and debated into a place of maximum safety. Like, these people talking would be dangerous. It can upset the Muslim population. Tommy Robinson talking could be dangerous. It can upset the British population. They generally don't want people to be upset. Like, it's a managerial class where people are told exactly what they are allowed to say. They're told exactly where they are allowed to protest. Like, in the UK, you can still protest. Just make sure you don't disturb anything. They can also tell you the emotional intensity at which you are allowed to protest. The government tells you what you are allowed and you're not allowed to believe, what common people say in this situation. So it's an extremely managed society. It's like living with a hyper-possessive helicopter mom that gets to dictate absolutely everything to its citizens. And anyone that threatens that order gets to be suppressed. Like, for example, recently, I have saw that Keir Starmer wants to pass a law that would prevent children from talking with strangers. And again, you're looking at that, and on the surface, it makes sense, right? Like, why should children talk to strangers on Discord or Roblox, right? Like, it's a good thing. But nobody is asking, like, is this the duty of the government? Isn't this like the attribution of the parent? Like, isn't this what the parent should be forced to do to their own children? And in the UK, the answer is no. No, absolutely not. Like, the government is now the parent. They're the father, they're the husband, and the British citizen gets to obey, right? And so the fact that Cenk doesn't understand this or doesn't know this is either disingenuous or incompetent. I think probably both, right? Like, you do not get to act shocked. You do not get to act surprised when your ideology was fruitful. But you also shouldn't be surprised that your ideology isn't a stagnating thing, right? Like, the beast that you created doesn't remain the way you created it. Ideologies, they have factions, right? The tactics that you justified to be used are still now being used by the various factions that splintered from your ideology. Some of them now find you hostile, right? They don't think that you're a right-winger. They know that you're a left-wing person. It's just that your faction's goals do not align with theirs. Your faction's goals now is to talk against Israel. Their faction is to keep the Muslim population within the United Kingdom from rioting. Or from even voting. That's another thing, you know. A lot of people are used to the idea that when it comes to Islam, it's like the purpose of the government is to make sure that terrorist attacks don't happen. When it comes to white people, is to make sure that the government makes sure that white people don't vote incorrectly. Well, in the United Kingdom, the Muslims are a voting bloc now, right? And so conversations about Israel can also threaten the seats of many of those British people, which, by the way, those British politicians make thousands of pounds every single month just by sitting on a chair. They like that chair. They don't want to leave that chair, right? And so this is why they don't like people like Cenk, which is not surprising, right? Like, at this point, when you look at the United Kingdom, you need to start looking at it like China. Not because it's identical, but because it's striving to become it. It's looking at China as a model that they want to import and they want to implement. Not the comic book version of China, you know, the one with the Tiananmen Square and Uyghurs in camp. No, like the system of governance. Like, everything is digitalized, everything is automated, and the government goes for maximum safety. It doesn't go for the quality of life of citizens. It doesn't go for democracy, to try to represent the citizen, to try to figure out what people want and give it to them. No, it genuinely tries to maintain the pacification, the domestication of its citizenship, of its citizenry. And so people like Cenk got a problem. And that's why they have their visa taken away. And I'm pretty sure if they were British citizens, then the government would have used different tools against them. I mean, Hassan Piker, you know, he's complaining and whining about being in America. You'd have been arrested in Britain. I guarantee to you, like, Hassan Piker would have been in prison. Like, he had an actual terrorist on his stream, right? He had a Houthi on his stream. Do you think, like, the government would have tolerated that? That they would tolerate as long as, you know, like, he would praise Keir Starmer and he would tell his subscribers to vote Keir Starmer. But, like, the moment he's having a fan base that's not for the Labour Party and it's, like, viewed as still leftist but not Labour, he would be crushed, right? Debanked. Hope Not Hate would start looking into his previous tweets, especially the ones where he threatens politicians and stuff. The fact that they're outraged, oh my goodness, you know, like, look at what the UK is doing, Jewish advocacy groups. My brother, the UK can be very dictatorial without the Jewish advocacy groups, right? Like, I'm just saying, the system has been created there since third wave feminism. And if the Jewish advocacy groups were disbanded tomorrow, the system would remain because the politicians, right, they are having an incentive in maintaining the current risk-averse system. It benefits them directly. And people operate on incentives. Anyway, right. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we'll see you in the comment section. Take care.